Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another videos, another paid request. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it. PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down in the info box down there, over there, to be for any movie review, re-review, topic, reaction, commentary, video game, let's try, playthrough, whatever the case may be. Feel free, and thank you for that. But this is for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, the 2024 fourth film in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, starring Eddie Murphy. Now, as you probably know, I had very, very little doubts about the film when it was announced. I did see the first teaser, and I did like what I saw, but at the same time, I looked at Eddie Murphy's recent track record, in particular Coming to America 2, which I thought was awful. How a lot of belated sequels have come about, and very rarely have they been worth much of anything. This is a film that I thought did nostalgia the right way, and I really did enjoy this. I really did. It's a toss-up between this and The Beekeeper for my personal favorite film of the year. I will say that. I really... there are flaws that I have with the film. I thought there's a certain actor that should have been utilized a lot more. There's a father-daughter story that I did not mind, but wasn't 100% in love with. But this brought a nice warm feeling of seeing a character I enjoyed come back. Eddie Murphy, I thought, was actually rather good in the film. There were quite a few moments that he did make me laugh and gave me that spark of the old Eddie. And it does play up nostalgia, but I thought it did it in the right way, where it didn't feel like a carbon copy for the entire film. A good chunk of the film is its own film, but it was more of like in Rambo 4, when I saw at the end of the film him coming home like the beginning of First Blood, or I hear the score It's a Long Road at the beginning of Rambo 4. Now Rambo 4 is better than this, but I guess I should have known better, because it follows the Part 4 formula for me, where there's a lot of Part 4s I love. I love Rocky 4, Rambo 4, Die Hard 4, Indiana Jones 4, Beverly Hills Cop 4, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, Halloween 4, even Friday the 13th Part 4. There's a lot of Part 4s I enjoy. Not all, but there's a lot. Now, I do put the first two Beverly Hills Cop films above this, absolutely. I would put Metro above this, yes, because I think Metro's an underrated film. But this film is 10 times better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. I know there's not much to say, but I thought it was 10 times better than that one. I thought it was better than... I like Dolomite's My Name, but I would say I like this film more. And then the last Eddie Murphy I liked before that, I can't even remember. I really cannot. There's films I didn't mind. Like, I liked Showtime. But I said this one, aside from some bits here and there, I rather enjoyed. Yes, even the nostalgic parts. The beginning with The Heat Is On playing. He's driving through Detroit. But at the same time, you didn't really get to see him drive through Detroit. We just saw pictures of Detroit in the first Beverly Hills Cop, but here he actually gets to see and talk to people in the city, and there's a kid with fireworks. I tried to lock up. Hey, I tried to lock you up for that. Fuck you, Foley. It was like, maybe because of what was going on in my life, with all the bad stuff, whether it be, my mom being attacked by killer bees, this hurricane, all this stuff going on in my head. I just wanted simple escapism, and that's what it gave me. Fun, entertaining escapism with a great soundtrack, a really cool score that gives homage to the previous, but also does a great job on its own. Some fun action set pieces. Eddie, feeling like a bit of the old Eddie again. It was nice to see Judge Reinhold. Great to see John Ashton. Just had not seen him since Beverly Hills Cop 2. Kevin Bacon, I thought, did actually a pretty decent job as the villain. Hell, a lot better than the villain in Part 3. Paul Reiser, I thought he actually got a bit more merit to do in this one compared to the first two. And while I did in the father-daughter stuff have little issues, I'm not sure about the actress. I was kind of in the middle with her performance. But I do appreciate them trying to give a bit more for Axel Foley to work with. But still having that. And it is R-rated. Eddie is fluent with the language. I know Beverly Hills Cop 3 was R-rated, but it didn't feel that way. And how when that film, it didn't seem like Eddie wanted to be funny. He went back to Axel in this. And I thought that was nice to see. The action sequences, while they're nothing amazing compared to the era of the older John Wick films or some of the better Mission Impossible films, I thought there was some fun set pieces. There's an opening with a snowplow. There's a bit with not a golf cart, but some kind of cart. A fun bit with a helicopter bit. Like I say, it was one of those movies where not only was it fun to see old friends, but it didn't do anything to disrespect the original films. It didn't make Axel Foley. There's friction between him and the daughter, but I didn't see it as him making him out into be a loser or to that type of thing. And it doesn't do anything to nullify the first two or make it seem like or disrespect the first two. So it's a sequel that respects the original films, but it wasn't like I was just seeing a carbon copy every 10 seconds along the way. They get more into spoilers starting now. Like I say, it was great to hear the heat is on. See Eddie with that jacket once again. The Detroit Red Wings hockey game they go to, him and this other guy, and he makes fun of the guy because the guy's, I didn't think you'd be into hockey. It's like, why do you think I wouldn't be into hockey? Because of this? Oh, no. So he makes the guy dig his own grave, and then Eddie laughs at him and goes, oh, you mess with me, Foley. Yep. And he's like, tosses his like white. I will be better. Yes. Yeah, I will be better. And I will try to be better. I will try to understand you better. But the reason they're really there is Axel knows there's going to be a robbery. And the guy who did the music, I forget who it is, he did a wonderful job. Because he gives homages not to just the first movie and the Axel F theme, he even gives homages to music in the second film. Well, if you remember in the Beverly Hills Cop 2, when Brigitte Nielsen and them are robbing, and you have that do 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 there's a scene or two that they play out, and then the rest of it is like its own score, but it's a nice synthesizer that feels like it fits in an 80s style. And each time like Axel does his thing, like the Axel music plays, and I see Axel Foley. He goes in, and unlike part 3, he's using his wit in his mouth. It's like, where's my deer? You know, who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you? I don't appreciate no motherfucker put guns in my face, okay? I'm a 5-time Stanley Cup champion, okay? And I can't do it justice like he did. I'm like, okay, that brought a smile on my face. Reminds me of Eddie of old. It's just sad he doesn't do the laugh anymore. I don't think he does the laugh because people make fun of it. Who cares? The laugh is great. He should have. He should have done that. But I did like the chase sequence where they go off after the robbers. I did like the bit where I gotta commandeer this vehicle, and the guy's like, "That's not a real thing," and Eddie's like, "Oh, and this is spoilers from here on out, heavy spoilers." So he pulls out his gun, and is like, "What was it?" He said, "Yeah, this is a real thing." "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, it's a real thing." And him and this other partner he has, they drive the snowplow. It's a fun scene chasing these guys crashing through people. Paul Reiser's the new captain. He's like trying to talk to him, but kind of gives up. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, this guy I'm with, he wants that raise, man. It was his idea. He wants that raise. He's like, he's a super cop, man." He's like, he doesn't say super cop. He's really good. Foley cut the crap. He hasn't solved anything in 5 years. No, I'm telling you, this guy Woody, he's been under the. Again, I like that we got to see that, and he's chasing the bad guys in a snowplow. And I'm listening to the music. I'm like, this music sounds familiar, and it goes into Shakedown from Beverly Hills Cop 2, which I think is great. Yes, I know it's nostalgic, but I love Shakedown. You know, that song. I always wished it was used in an action sequence, and I got my wish. Now, I kind of wish they saved that for the end action sequence, but at the same time, this is a great way to open it with your first action scene, and it is a great usage of that song. I love the way it's used in part 2 with the opening credits, but to be used in an action scene, I thought it worked very well, very fitting. Again, that was always my thing in my head, is like, I wish I could hear this in an action sequence, and I got my wish, so that was really cool. And even during it, where it's like they're talking to the other cops, and the cops like, "You're in a snowplow," and Eddie Murphy's like, "Yeah, we're in a goddamn snowplow. Fuck is your problem?" And they're able to stop the bad guys. Fun action sequence, entertaining, well paced. So then we cut to his daughter, who's in Beverly Hills. She's a lawyer, looked into this guy who she thinks is innocent. The guy says it's crooked cops. She mentions something about it. And that's where you get the bit in the trailer where the bad guys are in Steve masks and threaten her. Inventive way of doing it. Rid her car and have her flip so her cars doesn't quite fall off the building. I thought, okay, that's a different way of steering a witness or steering a prosecutor. Haven't seen that done before, really, so that's inventive, at least. And someone goes to see her, who's a friend, and is Judge Reinhold. Now, again, as much as I enjoy the film, there are a few mistakes I thought it made. First and foremost, Eddie Murphy's well used. I actually thought Paul Reiser was well used compared to the first two. He's mostly at the beginning. He shows up once in the third act. John Ashton, he's used throughout. Judge Reinhold, there should have been a lot more used of him. I thought that was a mistake. Because he pops in to talk to Axel's daughter, wishes that I never got you involved with this case. He makes a phone call to Axel. He says, "I gotta go somewhere. I'll meet you and pick you up at the airport tomorrow." He goes somewhere. People get guns on him. Then he disappears to like the hour and 30-minute mark. And if you take out the end credits, like an hour and 50. So the little usage of Judge Reinhold I thought was pretty unsatisfying. Because that's the thing, you want to see Beverly Hills Cop, you want to see Axel and John Ashton and Judge Reinhold together in a series of sequences. And I think that would have been that would have been great to see. And really, the only time you get to see the three of them together is the last scene of the movie. That I thought was the most disappointing part of the movie for me. So it's definitely more of Axel. So I guess you could say it's more like the first one, where while the first one is more Axel's show, and then Judge Reinhold and John, they appear from time to time, while the second one felt like more of the three of them together, which I do love that. It's one of my favorite aspects of part 2. So I wish there was more of Judge Reinhold used. I thought that was disappointing. Again, it's one of the reasons why I do put the first 2 above this. But with that said, they didn't kill the characters off. They didn't do something like a Dewey in Stream 5 or other crap that sequels have come out. Eddie, it was great to see him in there. Even when he calls Judge Reinhold, he gives him crap about... I forget what he says. Like, I probably don't get the verbiage wrong. I'll just say there. If you ever see it, you'll find out. It's brief, but I thought what Eddie was saying was actually kind of funny. And the way he was saying it to Judge Reinhold. Eddie goes to Beverly Hills. And there's some nice scenes with Paul Reiser, where Paul Reiser, he's the captain, and he's resigning, and you get the idea he took the heat for Axel, and Axel feels bad about that, and Paul Reiser's like, hey, you know what, don't spend time with my kids or my grandkids, and, you know, think about your daughter. And what's funny is that this film, I got more of a sense of them as friends that I did in the first 2 Beverly Hills Cop. Like, the first 2 Beverly Hills Cop, I figured, okay, they're acquaintances, of course. They talk. This is not my locker. This is not my desk. Part 2, he helps him out with the car. Then he trashed the car. This is where I see that they're actually friends. And that was nice to see. I know it may sound strange to people, but it was nice to see. Also, I like the little homage they have of the older, the captain in the first 2 films. In Paul Reiser's office, there's a picture of that guy up top here. Who, sadly, that actor had passed away. It was great to see they have a nod to him, so that was nice and respectful. He goes to Beverly Hills. I like the song they use when he gets in. Hot in the city, hot in the city tonight. He realizes, hey, Judge didn't pick me up at the airport. Let me go to his office because he's, I guess, a private investigator now. He goes there. He sees that people have opened up the door. If it was the Axel Beverly Hills Cop 3, he'd be like, freeze, motherfucker, you know. Here he goes in and he just starts throwing papers like, what's taking so goddamn long? Is this a union job? He just throws papers like, what the hell you do? Who the hell say? Who the hell do you think sent me? No, LeBron James. Of course it was Beck. Move, bitch. I'm like, yes, that's the old Axel Foley I was missing from Beverly Hills Cop 3. That's the Axel I was missing. Wait, is this a picture of you? And it's the picture from Beverly Hills Cop 2 with the boat. And then he's like, no, that's not me. That's the actor Wesley Snipes. That's a handsome motherfucker, ain't he? And that's where he gets the fire extinguisher, gets him, goes out the window. And there's like a meter lady. He grabs her cart, and I did like this actress. I liked her performance. I like the way she said, learn today. And maces him. And he's like trying to get it off. He's driving. And he looks. And I love, this guy laugh out on me. It cuts to, she's still on the thing. I told you, yeah, get out of here. And he's like, I'm sorry, meter lady. And knocks her ass out the damn thing. And I'm listening to the music. I'm like, oh, it's the Neutron Dance. Okay, cool. Again, I know, very nostalgic. But it worked for me. I gotta admit, this is in a way of it working for me. I had a smile on my face. He's getting the pepper spray out, and a nice chase scene where he's going through the crowds and going down the steps. Hell, this was a better paced action scene than when they tried to do, without the mace, the pepper spray, in Indiana Jones 5. Because I think Indiana Jones 5, there's like a little cart thing and they're going downstairs. But this felt like it was a lot less CGI, better paced, better directed, and had a lot less annoying people in it. And he's doing fine, then he flips the thing and some cops arrest him. He's like, what you guys are? And these two ladies arrest him. Don't move your hands. Listen, I've been caught for 30 years. I've been black my whole life. Trust me, I know. And I love the line where he makes fun of their car because it's so small. And he says the line, what was it? I know I'm spoiling stuff. That was, say, feel free to watch the film before watching these spoilers. So, unless you don't care. But I did like the line, man, I'd rather get locked up than put in this Fisher-Price looking motherfucker. I like that he calls the car a Fisher-Price looking motherfucker. I thought that was funny. And a good addition to the film is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's a cop, looked into this case involving possibility of crooked cops. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I liked him as an actor. I liked him in this film called Brick. He was good in films like Looper. I think Inception. Really underrated film called Premium Rush, which I haven't seen that in forever. But I remember really liking Premium Rush. I didn't like him as an actor. It was great to see him in this. They do make fun of Beverly Hills Cop 3 because he looks through, you ever seen your file? And they're going through the first and the 87. 1994, not your best year. Although that sounds a bit ADR, so there might have been something they added after the fact. But that's fine because Beverly Hills Cop 3 sucks. So I'm fine with that. John Ashton, he's the chief. They do explain that he was retired, but he got back with his wife. And then once he got back with his wife, he's like, I didn't want to stay home. So I thought that was, again, a sequel does not demolish, but instead helps. Because it was sad to not see him in the third film. But here, he not only didn't retire, or didn't stay retired, he became the chief of police. So I thought that was nice to see. Okay, cool. It was great to see him in there. And he has more to do compared to Judge Reinhold. That's why I thought it was a bit weird that, why did Judge Reinhold disappear for a while? But then John Ashton appears pretty... He's mostly in the office until at the end, but it was still nice to see him. And granted, he's a much older guy, so John Ashton can't do a whole lot. But it was still nice to see him there throughout. And like I said, there's a lot of fun moments. There's a bit where Eddie's trying to call his daughter, get him out of jail. She keeps hanging up. Eddie keeps thinking it's something else. Like, hey, this phone don't work. Don't look at me. Y'all the ones whose phone ain't shit. And then the plot is like trying to find this missing SD card, and apparently this crime, this killing had been recorded. They'd have to find the stuff. It's crooked cops working with criminals, and the bad guy is Kevin Bacon. Now, I like Kevin Bacon. I thought the scenes he shared with Eddie Murphy were really good. I thought Kevin brought a certain menace quality to his role. It's nothing amazing or anything, but I mean, I'm not expecting that from a Beverly Hills Cop film. But Victor Maitland and Jürgen Prochnow, I forget the actor's name in the first film, Steven Berkoff, and they did a good job in the first two. I thought Kevin Bacon. I mean, if I'm being honest, there's probably more to Kevin Bacon as a villain compared. Those two did well in the first two films, but I'm just saying if you look at like screen time and have a little bit more to their character, a little bit more menace, I would say Kevin Bacon, you could easily argue, is the best villain in the franchise. You could make that argument. Granted, we're mainly focusing on the hero and Axel's, the comedy and stuff. But yeah, I could say, like, if who's your favorite villain of the franchise, I'd probably say Kevin Bacon. And I like the conversation he has with Eddie, with how things keep taking and taking and taking away from us. And each time Eddie kind of looks at him and goes, well, I don't know, you have a gold watch? I never got a gold watch. Maybe that's a Beverly Hills thing. Or there's another bit where, wait, you got shot, you got a ribbon? I've been shot, I never got a ribbon. What color ribbon was it? Like those little digs at Kevin Bacon, I liked that. And that felt a little bit more compared to the other Beverly Hills Cop films. At least for me. So I did like that a bit of business. Now the stuff between Eddie and the daughter, I did, and I can appreciate. I did, and I appreciate it because it makes it so that at least it's something a bit different. It doesn't feel like a repeat of a previous Beverly Hills Cop movie. Granted, we've seen this before. The daughter, daddy, you didn't pay any attention to me, blah blah blah. And again, I'm not gung-ho about the actress. Or I didn't mind. I'm in between. I would say the two things that I felt was the weakest for me was Judge Reinhold. I wish was in it more, and we could have seen more of Axel, Judge, and John Ashton together. And the second thing was the daughter character was. I've seen much worse type of portrayals of that. I have seen bad. Like, it's not as bad as the girl in Army of the Dead, who was like the daughter of Batista. Not as bad as that. Far from it. And she had her moments I didn't mind. It makes me wonder, is she the daughter, like, character-wise, from the girl in Beverly Hills Cop 3? Like, did Axel and that girl get together and this was the daughter they had? Just, they never mentioned that lady from Beverly Hills Cop 3. They never mentioned what happened to her mom. Thought that was a bit weird. That's never mentioned. I did not want to mention Beverly Hills Cop 3 unless it's a little remark, but I mean the fact that the mom never was brought into the picture, I thought was a bit like, I don't even remember if they said she passed away or anything. Like, I thought that was a bit weird. But I did like that you find out that her and Joseph Gordon-Levitt used to be together, and Eddie's kind of looked at them, and he's like, have you two had intercourse? Like, the way he said it, I thought his delivery made me laugh. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he proves a worthwhile ally. Eddie and the daughter get attacked, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt saves them. That's the scene where you hear a little bit of the music, the score from Beverly Hills Cop 2. I thought that was nicely implemented. I thought that was an entertaining scene. There's a bit where they gotta get to a for sale house because there's a house next door they need to get to. They've tried to look at some info. And so they need help, and they bring in Serge, Bronson Pinchot. I thought he was used a lot better here than he was in Beverly Hills Cop 3. Beverly Hills Cop 3 felt like it was so random to see Serge there. Where now he's got this gun that could do everything. It's a utensil knife. It's radio and Jerry Lewis songs and what the hell, neck guns. Like, what the hell is this gun? And why was Serge be into this? Here, it made a lot more sense, and I thought it worked a lot better. I especially like the scene where they're driving and Serge looks, oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the daughter. Oh, they look like two lovebirds, like something monkeys, titty monkeys or something. And Eddie's like, what? They're titty monkeys, they mate for life. And Eddie's kind of looking at him going, listen, just saying. What was it? I want to get it right. You can't be calling black people monkeys. Even with that accent, you don't get fucked up. Just the way he said, I thought was pretty funny. So Eddie Murphy and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I like those two, the way they work together. Luis Guzman, he appears in the film. It's always nice to see him in the movie. I think the last time those two worked together was Pluto Nash, and this is definitely better than Pluto Nash. And Luis Guzman had some fun with it. Listen, my home's gonna roll up, and they'll roll up on you guys, especially you. And he points to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And for some reason, the way he did that just made me laugh. Again, for the most part, the cast, the delivery, the reactions to the situation. I love the helicopter bit where they get arrested by Kevin Bacon. They gotta get out of jail. They go to the roof because Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a pilot before. Joseph didn't know Eddie, Axel wanted him to do this, so he's mad about it. And he's like, come on. It's like getting on a bike, come on. So he's flying it, and Joseph's nervous, and he's like, what? Why are you so nervous? Why are you so nervous? This is the last time I was in a plane, I crashed. That's why I left it. What? You didn't tell me that? And just the way they interact with the helicopter, and a lot of it's done practical, the helicopter. And the uses, if CG used, then it was used very efficiently. Because a lot of it I saw was practical. And getting very low on the ground, and then where they're talking with each other. Listen, if we crash, I don't want to shoot you, then I don't shoot myself, because I ain't dying and no helicopter crash. Or the rudder gets hit, and Joe's like, I lost a rudder. And he's like, you got another one? They crash land. I thought the whole scene was entertaining. Competently directed. And then, I kid you not, like, they land on a golf course, and I'm like, is that who I think it is? Is Christopher McDonald. But I think he's playing Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. The reason I say that is because I know they're doing a Happy Gilmore 2 for Netflix. So I'm wondering, is this a tie-in to that? Where Happy Gilmore and Beverly Hills Cop are in the same universe? So is this Shooter McGavin? Because it's Christopher McDonald, and he's on a golf course, and he's kind of acting like Shooter McGavin. And Eddie BS's him. There's a person in the plane. Come on, you gotta be a hero. You gotta go help him. Oh, okay. I thought this felt like a worthy sequel to the first two, unlike Part 3. Even to the point that, in the first one, they put like a comedian with like a fun moment. So, I think, what was it? The first one, it was Damon Wayans, who gave him the bananas. The second one was Chris Rock. Like, what the hell is this? It's my truck. And this one, it's this guy, and I recognize the guy. His name is Affion Crockett. He's a comedian, but I'm like, I know I've seen him in a movie. There's a movie called Dead and Deader with Dean Cain. His buddy, the comedic relief, is this guy. It's actually a pretty damn funny scene with the way this guy, Eddie's trying to talk him into getting it, and the guy's like, rebuffing, what are you talking about? I'm your brother? Huh? You saying I'm your brother? What, we are a cookout? Like, they had such good chemistry with each other. It's sad it's only that one scene. But, like, this guy, I'm like, Affion Crockett, why ain't this guy in more movies? That's a hilarious scene. Later on, they do, Eddie and Joseph Gordon-Levitt do save Judge Reinhold. They get in the truck. They find out that Eddie's daughter's been taken. He gets to help with Paul Reiser to go, where is his daughter at? Able to track her phone. I did like Judge Reinhold asking Joseph, has he taken you to a strip club yet? Joseph's like, no. And he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. He's had intercourse with my daughter. I think Judge goes, well, this is awkward. Now, Billy and Taggart, they do get a moment in the finale, which is nice. Remembrance of fond times. So that was nice to see. Wish we would have seen more of that. But, I mean, that's more than Part 3 had. And again, like, Judge Reinhold kills 2 people. Taggart kills one with a shotgun. Nice moment. Eddie kills about 2 people. Now, the shootout finale is nothing remarkable. It's not like a Bad Boys movie, where it's this big production, choreography, slow motion explosions, any of the sort. It's very basic. Some people may be disappointed by that. To be truthful, that's kind of the norm for Beverly Hills Cop films. So that's why it didn't bother me too much. But I just see people, maybe if they're expecting a bigger sequence. But, you know, they did, take care of Tim Bacon. Things work out. The daughter I warmed up to as the movie went on. I thought it was a bit weird. In the trailer, there's a scene with the John Ashton, Judge Reinhold, and Eddie, where they go, how many people you pissed off? Has it, 50-50. Has it been that many? And like, they're wearing different clothes in that trailer, and there's a different line dialogue. That's not in this movie. Instead, it's Eddie sneaking out of the hospital because he doesn't want his daughter mad, and there's John Ashton, Judge Reinhold, supposed to be watching him. He's like, I just want to get a steak. Come on, let's get a steak. Come on, we're just going out of state. Come on. Trust me. So it's different dialogue, and some of them have different clothes, and even Judge Reinhold, he doesn't have the bruises in that trailer scene. So it makes me go, what the hell was that scene from in the trailer? Or was that something just shot for the trailer? I don't know. The movie ends. I know it's a long review, but I just kind of wanted to gush on it in the fact of I actually really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a fun. I mean, because it's the first review I'm doing since all the BS going on with the Hurricane Barrel and all that other stuff. So just to sit down and talk about a movie again is nice. But like I said, it was just fun escapism. Again, I wish Judge Reinhold was used quite a bit more, and there's more scenes of our 3 main guys together. I wish, I'm not sure, again, the daughter character, I'm kind of 50-50 or 60-40 on. But The soundtrack, the music, I thought was on point. The nostalgia worked to me in the right ways and the right feels. I did laugh quite a few times throughout the film. I thought I had some pretty decent action sequences with the snowplow and the helicopter and some of those bits. I thought that Eddie, it was great to see him. That spark in his eye again. I missed you. Where the hell was that in Coming to America 2? Well, that whole script sucked, so. Paul Reiser, I liked the way they dealt with his character. John Ashton, it was great to see him again. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a great addition. I thought Kevin Bacon actually did a pretty good job as the villain. I would say he was the best villain of the 4 movies. And I know there's talks of a part 5. But who knows? They announce stuff all the time. I mean, they'll announce it, and 9 out of 10 times those films don't get made. There's any number of things could happen. If it does, I'd be curious about it. Still cautious. Because part 5s haven't been the best. Rocky 5, Rambo 5, Indiana Jones 5, Die Hard 5, so maybe part 5 would be pushing it too much. But if that didn't happen and this was the end of it, it's a nice way to end it. It is. And sometimes that's all I want. Just fun, entertaining escapism. And it was actually pretty decent. I thought it was a pretty decent, fun time. No. I don't know, do for the thumbnail or something like that. But thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.